Now, another mixing technique that you use common in just all music in general is this idea of side chaining. Essentially what side chaining is that when one signal happens, it's going to duck the volume of another signal in order to allow space in the sonic frequency range for everything to live together. Now, typically where you use this quite a bit inside of your mix is using the kick drum to duck the volume of the bass. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in and we're going to side chain the bass to the kick drum. So when the kick happens, the bass is ducking every time that hits. And inside the MPC, we have a very special plugin for that called the Mother Ducker. Now, the first thing we have to do is we have to tell the MPC which signal is going to be the one controlling the ducking and what track is going to be receiving the ducking. So we're inside of the drum track still, and this is the pad that we want to have as the signal, as the one that tells the other track to be quiet when it happens, so they're sharing the same space. So let's go back into the mixer. We're on this drum track right here. Let's go into our effect, and we want to then add an effect which is in the dynamics called the Mother Ducker. So let's add Mother Ducker. Now you see there's Mother Ducker input and Mother Ducker. So Mother Ducker input is the one that is sending the signal. If we go to it, it doesn't have any parameters because all it's doing is it's routing this signal out to be received by another one. Because we can actually have 8 buses for the Mother Ducker. So right now we're just using 1 bus for the kick to send out a signal. Let's say we wanted the snare here to duck the signal of something else like the pads when it would happen. We could then put the Mother Ducker input on the snare and then use bus number 2 to duck a different signal. But for now, we're just doing something very basic, which is on the kick drum, we are using Mother Ducker right here. And then what we want to do is come out of here and go into our bass channel, and we're going to add the Mother Ducker. Now, what we're going to see is there's a bunch of parameters. We can just leave it as it is, and we'll notice that whenever this kick happens, we see it's receiving a signal, and this little guy is bouncing right here. We're going to do a deep dive video into all the parameters of sidechaining here, but this is just to give you an idea of how you can use the MPC plugins to share the space and do some more advanced mixing techniques. If I bring up the ratio, we can see we have more of a duck, meaning that every time that kick happens, the bass is going to get out of the way and they're going to share the space. So let's play back the beat with this and just bypass this to see if we can hear that dynamic difference. Now, I have this cranked up quite a bit in order just to exaggerate the effect so you can hear it. But what you should be hearing is that every time this kick happens, that bass is almost disappearing out of the mix. We're going to adjust the ratio here just so it's not as drastic, because I just want a little bit of reduction right here. But that's one method to be very aware of inside of MPC, and also in mixing as general, is this concept of sharing the frequency space. The kick is a very low end instrument. It's typically around 200 hertz. The bass is going to have lower end frequencies around the similar area, 200. So when those sounds happen at the same time, it can cause some issues and there's no room for them to share. Using something like this sidechaining, where the kick is sending out a signal through Mother Ducker input into Mother Ducker on bass number 2, we then have it where they're sharing that sonic space and each one has their own segment of the frequency range, and it makes your mixes sound a lot cleaner and a lot better.